Go everyone. Welcome to the opening week of the fifth leap. Mm, and today is actually Sunday. Once again, it's 2 a.m. On the clock, and I decided to record this upfront because I know that tomorrow, or basically today, I won't be able to record this one. So, yeah, here am I. Today's reflection session is divided into 5 parts. First, we'll talk about what changed during my previous week, what are the what are the expectations about the fifth leap. Then we'll briefly cover the shape up phases. Then we cover what did I prepare for today's video, what are the results, and how did I came up to them, and my plans for the next week. So let's begin with the changes, and the most obvious change was that I finally, after almost 40 weeks of recording these videos, came up to an idea that you need a thumbnail for your video. And basically, the second I ended recording my previous video, I came up with simple, nice, catchy thumbnail that I'll place for an experiment. I'll place this thumbnail for the next 10 videos in the leap. So essentially the whole leap. I do them in PowerPoint, so I'm really restricted in my artistic capabilities there, but that is what it is. I think you don't need anything else on the thumbnail rather than the name of the video and the name of the game, so you could orient around these videos even better. Another very interesting thing, not just a very interesting thing, but another thing that I wanted to change with this in my approach in this fifth leap is that now I'll be more I'll act according to the some form of methodology to shape up framework, and this framework is supposed to provide me some guidance of what should I say at the end of the week, essentially the vocabulary, the goals for the next week, and basically the reporting structure. I don't want to come back to my previous videos where I discussed how it was disaster for me that I didn't go to office, or that I was really happy that I did that. Of course, these are nice things, but that's not what I want to focus in these reports in the first place. For these purposes, I have diary, and the leaps should be more as a productive system to achieve something, basically. Now let's move to the shape up phases, and the methodology I was referring in my previous point is actually the shape up methodology. I already explained it in my 2 previous videos, but I'll briefly remind those who don't know that shape up methodology basically supposes that you have 3 different phases, which are shaping part, bedding part, and building part. It's like a Scrum or other agile methodology, but here you have a distinct shaping phase, which supposes that you will use whole your imagination to create a blueprint, essentially not a blueprint, but some guidelines, some structure to your upcoming project. Then you'll have to compare all these bets, and then you have to actually execute on what you've promised. And right now I'm in the shaping phase. I decided that the shaping plus bedding phase will last for the first 2 weeks of my leap, and here is the first week. Unfortunately, that's the transition to the next point. Unfortunately, as always, I didn't have much time to sit and thoroughly understand what are my needs, what do I want to achieve. So there won't be any insightful bets or insightful shapes. I basically just sit there in front of my computer, opened Obsidian, and started to sketch a little bit. And I basically went from an understanding that you have all these 5 life vectors that I was talking about in the previous video, which are the work vector, the studies vector, the hobby vector, the health vector, and the people vector. And I understood that my bet or the shaping part should strive towards some end result. So it shouldn't be like habit, definitely. It shouldn't be changing mentality, definitely, because you can't actually track it and you don't know how to like create this mental construct upfront, mental structure. So basically, 3 vectors disappeared instantly, which are people vector and health vector and studies vector. People and health vector, I think they cannot be effectively shaped, at least in the beginning when I'm just trying out this methodology, experimenting with it, because I think that people and health are the more of habitual kind of processes. So you have to constantly engage with people. You have to make decisions every time, and it's not like that you're building some end product. You just definitely have to be a nice guy and show up, and basically just show up. That's it. And the same goes for health, but in the health from the sports perspective, if we'll count sports as health vector, I have some ideas of what could I achieve. For example, you could set a goal for you to make, I don't know, 100 push-ups and maybe 10 pull-ups at the end of the leap. And I'll definitely try this. I'll try this goal, but for now, I think it isn't relevant for now. And another vector I didn't consider was the studies vector, because I already have like system there, which is the university, which forces me to regularly at least appear on classes. Of course, I don't do it every day, but at least once in a while I'm in university and we have like regular weekly home assignments. So I relatively engaged in the study process. Of course, it's not close as much as I was engaged during my bachelor's degree and like during my Vienna computer science master's upcoming. But yeah, I'm relatively doing something on this direction, so I don't need shaping all this shape up system right there. So I ended up with 2 vectors, which are work and hobby. And to the hobby part, I counted like low-level game development. So my desire to write a game, maybe the same game as I was considering to write it in the previously, but I didn't achieve anything. I just solved maybe a couple of learning tasks, learning problems on Yandex handbook, and that was basically it. So I think in this direction, so low-level game development, I still have to learn a lot, and I think I will do it through the university, through the computer science masters in Vienna, because they have like the computer graphics specialization there, or maybe when the study will finish, my studies will finish, I'll blend my hobby and studies vector for a little bit to like dig deeper into the C++ and all the graphics library, graphics stack. I don't want to use game engine yet because I don't have any idea. I just want to tinker with the low level, basically C++ graphics libraries. Another direction on the hobby part I was considering was my switching to Linux. It's a part of my great strategic shift towards, great strategic repositioning towards open source operating system. Not that I'm a big fan of it, but Windows 11 is just a disaster for me. I really like the feels and looks of the Windows 10. It's a stable, mature operating system. It doesn't have all this AI-powered BS, which I don't need actually. So yeah, I decided to switch to Linux maybe even already 2 years ago, and and still here I don't know what could be the end project, because like on the Linux behalf you have like either you're using Linux and learning how to use it or not. So I installed Linux once again on my laptop. It was Ubuntu, but then I decided to delete Ubuntu because it was very heavy and it already came with prepackaged Snap Store, and it just doesn't feel any way different from the Windows. So I decided to install Fedora with Nix Package Management Manager, and right now I have Fedora on Sway, and yeah, basically that's it. I've installed it recently, so I still have time to experiment with it. But again, I don't see any of tangible endpoint of your journey on the Linux track. You either use it, as I've said, as I've mentioned previously, or not. And another thing that I was considering as a project was the lead code. And here I have another problem, or rather not a problem, but I can't. Again, I don't see the end point, the end goal in the lead code direction. Surely you can set the goal as solve 75 lead code problems, as I did previously, but and in the end, you really just have to constantly show up to lead code and solve it anyway, so you don't have any of projects going there. You can finish some track, but again, it's not something tangible, something you can shape upfront, bet on it, and then deliver. It's basically the R&D project all alone, and right now I need something that that really could be achieved through my current skills. So I want to add some exploitation for my activities. So I ended up only with the work vector, how unusual. And here I have the web development side of things with the C# and TypeScript. And at first I didn't know what are my desires here, what I want to achieve. Maybe build some nice API, maybe some nice UI, but I understood that I don't want to do this. I don't have any problems that could be relatively easy closed using my application. So I came with another idea, and for now the results are that I decided to, my idea was to try to mimic or duplicate the parts of different functionalities from different websites. And I essentially came up to the search system over my nodes from Obsidian. So I want to basically create a basic page, or maybe 3 to 4 screens, where you can study your nodes, query your nodes. Maybe you can show them, preview them, and I want to deliver it using the TypeScript on the front end. I don't want to use React or any other front-end frameworks, maybe except of Vue. Vue seems kind of nice because it doesn't add too much overhead, and there are many interesting component libraries and so on. It's basically you drop it on your JavaScript application and that's it. And on the backend, it's the C#, of course, ASP.NET Core, Web API project. Again, nothing fancy here. I just want to strengthen my entity framework skills and architectural skills. So yeah, I definitely see this project of querying your own database of nodes as a very tangible kind of thing that you can strive towards. And it's not really ambitious, but at least it definitely can be achieved within the 6-week delivery period. So I have an appetite for this as the 6 weeks, as I've planned earlier. And yeah, that's basically it. What I want to achieve the next week. So the results, the artifacts of the shaping phase are the pitch decks for each bed. And since I have only one bet, I definitely don't have much to choose from. What I want to test on me the step of actually creating a pitch. So with the value proposition, with the problem it solves, maybe the problem isn't so obvious here for my specific project, but since I'm not building it for a commercial purpose, there will be the value proposition will lie in some different dimension. And basically with all the heavy marker drawings, when you cannot specify lots of details with the concept, so I want to draw something relatively similar to what I will achieve at the end, try to predict it and try to lay out all the common pitfalls. And basically this is my plan for the next week. Now, thanks for listening. I definitely will speed up this a little bit, or maybe don't, depend on the footage I'll record tomorrow. But yeah, thanks for listening and bye-bye. I mean, wish you a great week. Hope you to see you in the next one, and so on, so on. Bye-bye.